and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado athletics. Have an exciting show on tap tonight. We're going to talk a lot of volleyball, cycling, and cross country, amongst other sports. But first, before we get started, as we always do, want to thank our sponsors of Brevard College Tornado athletics: Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, eGolf Florida Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Appreciate the sponsors of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Well, catch you up around Brevard College Athletics tonight, later tonight. The event a lot of folks have been waiting for around here at the Boschmer Gymnasium. Men's and women's basketball tornado tip-off, the official kickoff of the basketball season for men's and women's basketball. And the men's basketball team will actually have their opener this weekend at Oglethorpe. That's Saturday at 3 p.m. in Atlanta. And then women's basketball, their season opener 1 week from tonight, 7 p.m. in Greenville, South Carolina at Furman. Women's soccer dropped a first-round game last week to Huntington 1-0 in the USA South Conference tournament. Concludes their season, a very successful one, 9-7-3 overall. Two Tornadoes earning postseason accolades: Sally Riggins, second team West Division; Lena Hatter, all sportsmanship team. The men's soccer team played their first round game, a heartbreaking 1-0 loss in overtime at NC Wesleyan. Concludes their season 9-4-3 overall. Four Tornadoes with all conference awards: Sam O'Callaghan, Adam Spencer, Ryan Lynch, and Wendell Lima. Football traveled to play Methodist to try to keep their USA South Conference winning streak going. Methodist came out the winner in this one, 31-24, a last-minute touchdown by Methodist. Mitchell Yoder of the Tornadoes, with a school record 220 rushing yards in the NCAA D3 era, had a 97-yard rush from scrimmage, the longest in school history. Brevard will next play versus Averett on Saturday, November the 13th, 3 p.m. at Islamel Family Field. That's senior day. Cross country has home from the USA South Conference Championships. That was in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. 5 Tornadoes with all conference nods. We'll talk to their coach and a couple of those student athletes later in the show. Cycling, back from Durango, Colorado, where they won 5 individual national championships, third place as a team at the national championships. And next up for cycling, cyclocross action in both Newton and Hickory, North Carolina, Saturday and Sunday of this weekend. And that brings us to volleyball, where it's been an exciting week, a 3-0 win over Agnes Scott, and then a 3-0 win over Wesleyan over the weekend. And following that performance this past week, a postseason berth for the first time since 2015. So the volleyball team will head to USA South Conference play. That begins tomorrow versus Huntington, 5 p.m. The game's being played in Maryville, Tennessee. And with that, want to invite into the show our first couple guests of the evening to break this down even further, all this volleyball success. Joined once again my head coach, Anna Grant. Hello, Coach Grant, and assistant coach, Kia Kaufman. First of all, congratulations. Postseason berth for the first time since 2015. Coach Grant, we'll start with you. Just kind of putting that in perspective. This team's come a long way. This program's come a long way, and to earn that postseason berth has got to feel good.
Yes, it does. I knew that, obviously with the transition to Division III, it had been a while, but just to see on paper 2015 and just kind of remembering that team from that year and just the hard work that they put in, just kind of catapult us into the Division III era, just kind of brought back a lot of memories and a lot of excitement as far as what we are looking forward to. I know last year we were eligible and we just missed it. And so this year, just knowing that we had a great chance to not only make the tournament, but make a run in the tournament has been very exciting. And the girls have really persevered through some just challenges of facing a very tough conference schedule and being on the road a lot. And so, anytime you can split on the road and win at home, that's kind of the goal of a volleyball coach. And we did a great job of that this year. So I'm very proud of all that they've done.
And Coach Kaufman, you've naturally been working closely with these student athletes since they arrived for practice back in August. The team's come a long way, correct, since those first practices?
They really have. It's really been cool to see how much they've grown on the court and off the court, and just, even as a whole unit, the way that they've come together as a team, it's been really fun to be a part of and see how they interact with each other on the court and off the court. So.
Well, Coach Grant, I do want to kind of reflect a little bit upon this regular season before we kind of turn the page, what's ahead beginning tomorrow. And, you know, the first thing that comes to mind is it's such a young roster, newcomers in who have made an immediate impact. And the list just goes on and on of the student athletes who've just become star performers on this team in their debuts in collegiate competition in many cases. Can you talk about that, how quickly this unit got up to speed?
I think I give a lot of credit to our team. Over the summer, we kind of work together. We have partners throughout the summer just to kind of meet and get to know each other, maybe just on FaceTime or, you know, just start interacting pretty much as soon as the incoming freshmen graduate high school. So we try to integrate them as much as we can throughout the summer so that when it comes time for the fall, we're still new to each other, but it's not getting to know each other. We kind of know the basics, but now it's just getting to know each other a little bit more personally. And the freshman class and, you know, the newcomer and Bailey Lance, they've just done a really good job of kind of stepping up to the plate and saying, okay, we're here. This is what we can contribute. And they've just kind of really dug in and did a really good job of growing. You know, obviously with a young team, there are learning curves and, you know, our expectations are a little bit different because they don't know. And so just a lot of teaching, a lot of explaining, a lot of talking through why we're doing things, what things should be like, setting expectations, setting those bars high so that as their time as a tornado goes on, we can just build on that. So I'm very proud of all they've contributed up to this point.
Anything to add to that, Coach Kaufman, as far as, again, like this young roster, you know, playing like veterans?
Yeah, I think it has to do a lot with like having good leadership with our seniors and upperclassmen as well. I think they welcomed the newcomers in with open arms and kind of showed them the ropes and how things are meant to be done. So I, like Coach said, just give a lot of credit to the whole team as a whole, being open-minded and just being willing to work for each other and do what it takes to be a good team.
Perfect segue, because my next question, I want to reflect upon the two seniors who we honored this past Saturday, Morgan Graham and Brooke Groves. Coach Grant, you've been around these two for a while now. Please, your comments on those two.
I think it's just anytime a senior makes it 4 years here and they have a good experience, it's a very proud moment for me. Especially Brooke and Morgan, who have really gone through a lot of the changes the college has seen and that we've seen I know coming from Division II to Division III. I was on maternity leave for one of their seasons, so they've really been through a lot and they stuck with it. And one of the things that I wrote in their senior cards was just how proud I was of them and how thankful I was for their dedication to Brevard College volleyball. You know, there were some really tough times and they stuck it out and they stayed dedicated. And that speaks a lot to their character. They're just two people that have just kept their head down and worked hard and gone through ups and downs on and off the court, but just showed up. And this year I agree with what Kia said is, you know, they were kind of like, hey, this is how things go. This is what we need to do. You know, we need to have less of this and more of this. And so they did a great job of kind of, again, embracing those roles from the younger players as well. So I'm really proud of them too, that they're able to embrace that and not, you know, react negatively to it. But I wouldn't have expected anything different from those two.
Yeah, Morgan Graham, the senior from Covington, Virginia, she'll graduate with a degree in art, double concentration, digital media and photography. And Brooke Groves, the right side hitter from Belmont, North Carolina, she's going to have a bachelor's in health science and a minor in pre-law. Great examples as student athletes, the well-rounded, you know, classroom, on the court, you know, around campus. Correct, Kia? Yeah,
I mean, as kind of like their academic coach, I guess, I've got to spend a lot of time with them these last 2 years in the academic side and just talking with them about their goals for academics and what they want to do after. And so it's been really cool to get to know them as people outside of the volleyball area and then it's just really cool to see how hard they've worked to finish out their career in the academic side. So I was really proud to see how they're doing with their academics as well as athletics. So
in kind of the, other part of that is also community service. And, the team signified the Dig Pink program this past Saturday. Just a great program that funds cancer research and treatments through the Side Out Foundation across collegiate volleyball and volleyball on all sorts of levels across the country. And great to see the Tornadoes involved. Coach, that's got to make you proud to see the team jump on board on an opportunity like that in the community.
Yeah, it really does. And this year, I wish we would have done a little bit more with the Side Out Foundation, kind of more intentionally. I think they really enjoy the Dig Pink aspect and, having that opportunity to bring awareness. But, this year we could have done a little bit better, honestly, hey, Finn, we could have done a little bit better job of, really bringing awareness to the cause. We wore pink, but we could have done better. But one thing that we have done in the community is helped coach volleyball at the Boys and Girls Club. And we sent a couple of girls there over on Thursday nights. And that's been really great because, we've gotten some feedback from people over there that it's some of the best times that those girls have had at a volleyball practice. So I'm very proud of my girls in that aspect of community engagement. And it kind of helps me to say, okay, how easy is this coaching thing? How much do you really like it? And just give them a different perspective, which is great. And, just help those kids out who just are really, who look up to college athletes in our community. So it's been really cool to work with them.
Great stuff. Coach Grant, tomorrow, conference play begins. A trip to Maryville, so it's on a neutral court this first game versus Huntington, 5:00 tomorrow. Relatively short trip as far as the Tornadoes in the USA South Conference goes, but a road trip nonetheless. You got to get on the bus and you got to go to the across state lines. Can you tell us about how today's or tomorrow is going to kind of lay out in terms of the logistics and what you see as the key to the victory?
Yeah, so they added the 5th seed into the conference tournament this year. So I had confidence that we were going to be in the tournament, and then when they added the 5th seed, I was very happy, very confident. So we ended up being the 5th seed. Huntington is the 4th seed. And this is almost a play-in game. So from our division, 4 and 5 play each other to play number 1 in our division. And on the other side, 4 and 5 play each other to play the number 1 on their position in their division. Positions 3 and 2 play each other this week as well. And then the crossing over from conference division starts. So going into tomorrow, it's kind of just like our average tri-match. We play 2 games. We play back-to-back. We travel. We are going to stop and eat lunch at a little bit nicer place than we normally would, and just kind of sit down and enjoy ourselves and company and kind of get that bus shaken off of us. But then we get to the gym. We have some time on the court before the official warm-up starts, and we just start playing. Our matchups with Huntington both times this year, I feel like could have gone either way. We took them to 5 the first time we played them at our place and lost by just a few, and I knew that would bite us in the end. And then at their place, we lost in 4. And I think it's really hard to beat a team 3 times. So I think that our team is prepared to go in and really fight to win, to play Maryville and knock off Maryville, the top dog. So it's just all about mindset. It's all about having some confidence in what we can do and trusting the game plan. I was watching film with Bailey Lance today, just kind of nitpicking over what their hitters do and what's open for our hitters. And just really looking forward to the competition tomorrow and being in that environment. So it'll be an exciting day for our team.
Very good. Well, stick with us just a moment longer, Coach Grant and Coach Kaufman. We're going to bring in a couple of those student athletes who are going to be in action tomorrow in USA South Conference play, and we're going to allow you two to help us introduce our guest here, Ashley Hoxit, the freshman outside hitter from Balsam Grove, North Carolina, and Logan Priddy, the freshman setter from Greensboro, North Carolina. Coach Kaufman, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about these two.
So they're both freshmen and have made a huge impact on our team so far. I think both of them are kind of leaders in their own right and coming into their own voice on the team and finding where they fit in. And I'm just really happy to have them.
Coach Grant, we'll leave the final word to you. Tell us a little more about these two, but, if you've also got a message, perhaps to NATO Nation and all your supporters as you guys, embark on postseason play.
Yeah. Well, first of all, to all of our parents and fans and community supporters, just thank you for a great year. It's great to have everyone back in the stands. Our parent support group was awesome this year. All the parents contributed to helping the girls make sure they were fed and had Gatorades and all this and that. So I really appreciate everything that they did. Our game day administration staff, just awesome jobs. Shout out to BC softball. You guys killed it. We just really appreciate everything that you guys do and the long days you put in when we hosted games. So just really appreciate all of that from you guys. Kia, thank you for everything you've done this year. I know you've just put in a lot of work and a lot of stuff behind the scenes to help make our team better. So I just can't thank you enough. And to these young ladies, thank you for, stepping on the court and being ready to play. Logan gave us a bit of a scare yesterday or Saturday after the game. We thought she might have a broken finger, but she's just got a sprain and she's pushing through. So I know both of you have, kind of experienced the highs and lows of college volleyball. And all I can tell you is that I hope that you just shoot for the stars tomorrow, just play, have fun, and the game will take care of itself. So I'm looking forward to competing with you guys tomorrow.
Very good. That's head coach Anna Grant, assistant coach Kia Kaufman from Brevard College Volleyball. Coaches, congratulations on a great season. It's been a lot of fun to follow it every step of the way, and best of luck beginning tomorrow in USA South Conference play.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all you do for us too, Phil. Thanks.
Our pleasure. All right, there they go. And welcome once again, Ashley Hoxit, the freshman outside hitter from Balsam Grove, North Carolina, Logan Priddy, freshman setter from Greensboro, North Carolina. Ladies, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Ashley, let's start with you. You're one of these hitters on the Tornadoes, and I don't know if you keep stats quite the way some of us in our department do, but 11 times this season you've had double-digit kill totals. Twice this season you had a season high as a collegiate player with 19 kills. Those both were wins, by the way, for the Tornadoes at Piedmont and versus LaGrange. Ashley, what's been the key to you having that success in terms of the statistical kill and attacking at the net?
I think for me, I just kind of go up with like a killer mentality. Like every time I get the ball, I want to score. So it's either like make a smart play or pound it as hard as I can.
Yeah, and Logan, you play a different role, the setter, and, you're setting up hitters like Ashley, all match long. And 7 times this season, you've registered double-digit assists, a 40 assists total at LaGrange. What's the key, Logan, as far as, the art of the assist and setting up hitters like Ashley?
Honestly, my hitters have a huge impact in that they're so positive and just the attitudes on the court are amazing. And honestly, you just got to go out there and you just got to be like, we're going to win this game no matter what. Doesn't matter what happens. We just got to win. And honestly, you just can't get in your head. And that's the whole skill with setting is just you got to play your own game.
Yeah, no doubt. And you guys are playing it masterfully as of late. All sorts of wins, including a couple of straight set sweeps over Agnes Scott and Wesleyan this past weekend. Ashley, you had 9 kills in the win over Wesleyan, but that game against Wesleyan also marked senior day. And I know you two are, new to the program, but these two seniors, Morgan Graham and Brooke Groves, were honored this past weekend. Ashley, it's got to be meaningful to someone like yourself to have senior leadership like Morgan and Brooke.
Yeah, they were both definitely very welcoming when we all moved onto campus. They both have really sweet personalities, so I think that just made it a lot easier, just to kind of follow their leadership skills.
Logan, any message you'd like to pass on to the two seniors? One final bit of congratulations as we continue this celebration.
I mean, they're amazing people and they're amazing players. It's going to suck having them leave, but we're going to miss them. I know they're going to come back, but it's going to be a devastating loss without them next year.
Now, on the flip side, and we talked to your coaches about this a little bit, what a nucleus of freshmen and sophomores, we've got here at Brevard College Volleyball with a very bright future. Ashley, is that something you guys have talked about? Like, wow, we can keep doing this for 3-4 years and really build something special here.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it all the time, with the other freshmen. It just kind of blows my mind how we're such like a young team. So I feel like there's a lot of room to grow, and like we're getting better every day.
In Logan, you guys have gotten better since the start of this season. We talked to Coach Kaufman about how, things have changed since that first week of practice, and you guys, stepping into this collegiate environment for the first time. Can you talk about that as far as, the growth as the team throughout the season?
I mean, I definitely will have to say we've grown. Like, definitely me with my passing, like that's a big deal with me, is like I got to play defense, and Anna gets on my ass about that all the time. So that's something that I got to do. But all around, Anna and Kia push us to our best, and they know that we can be better than what we think we can be. And it shows every single day. We work harder, we work faster, and it's all a mindset. And that's Anna's big thing, is mindset. And we can win. And that's what we're here to win. We're here to win conference.
And speaking about mindset, tomorrow the trip to USA South Conference play, postseason berth for the first time in several years. And, a lot of eyes are going to be on y'all. But I know this is a business trip for y'all, and, you guys have done plenty of these before. Ashley, can you talk about tomorrow and just, the team's mentality going into a tournament like that?
Going into conference tournament, every seed starts 0-0. I think we're ready to kick some butt. We took Huntington to 5 when we played them at home. So I feel like we definitely just have a mindset, go out there, play as hard as you can. We could beat Huntington. We can beat Maryville. We're just going to lay it all out on the line.
Logan, anything to add to that?
We're going to kick butt tomorrow.
Well said. Very concise. No doubt about it. And we'll be following every dig, set, and spike along the way. Well, before we let you go, do you want NATO Nation to learn just a little bit more about each of you? Ashley, you're from nearby Balsam Grove, North Carolina. Can you talk about your upbringing as a volleyball student athlete and how you found Brevard College?
So I actually had a few teammates that I went to high school with that committed here probably 4 or 5 years before me. So I had a little bit of familiarity there. And, I've always been on and off campus, just being a local. So when I was looking for a place to commit, I definitely checked this place out, and then it became the fit for me.
Logan, same question for you. It came from a little bit further, Greensboro.
Anna was my first offer. She reached out to me at one of my tournaments, and it kind of went from there. Anna and Kia have been very, very welcoming to all the freshmen, and it made my decision very easy.
Very good. Ashley, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about off the court. Where do your interest lies? Have you started to think about a major perhaps?
Yeah, so I'm going to major in exercise science. I'm really interested in being like some kind of physical trainer. And then with coaching the younger kids, I've realized I want to do a minor in coaching.
Logan, what's keeping you busy in the academic side of things?
I am a business major. I would like to eventually do wedding planning and maybe live in Asheville. And I'm minor in coaching.
Very good. Before I let you two go, want to give you each the opportunity, any shout outs or thank yous you may want to throw out there, anyone who's helped you along the way this season or beyond. Ashley, the floor is yours.
I just want to shout out to my family for always pushing me and supporting me to get where I am. And I want to say a shout out to my teammates because I'm super excited for tomorrow and I'm ready to win.
Very good. Logan, shout outs, thank yous.
Huge shout out to my parents for making it to every single game, no matter where it is. Huge shout out to my best friend, my sister Parker. Love her to death. Huge shout out to my brother as well, and my teammates. Can't ready to kick butt tomorrow.
All right, that's Ashley Hoxit and Logan Priddy as the Brevard College Tornado volleyball team heads to USA South Conference play. Congrats on a sensational regular season. Good luck in conference play, Ashley and Logan.
Thank you.
All right, there they go. And we're going to switch gears quickly here and bring in coaches from the cycling program here at Brevard College. And looking forward to this conversation. First chance to talk to head coach Brad Perley and assistant coach Cypress Gorry following the mountain bike national championships in Durango, Colorado. Coach Perley, thanks for joining the program. It's got to, feel good now that you've, been able to settle back into Brevard, North Carolina, and perhaps reflect back on those mountain bike national championships.
Definitely. Yeah. They're always super stressful, long, nerve-wracking trips, but at the same time, really, really rewarding when we have a group of students like we traveled with this year. It goes without saying, of course, but both Cypress and I are extremely proud of everything the team did, the way they handled themselves on and off the bike, the performances, of course, really punching above their weight, so to speak, in the terms of this big Division I cycling competition with a lot of programs that are absolutely massive. So for them to consistently go out and, I think it's easy for some folks to have high expectations based on what the team has done in the past, and especially following this COVID year. But really every year the team composition changes so much. I mean, naturally students join the program and they graduate, and that's how it works. But unfortunately sometimes, being able to go out and really hit these goals and expectations, I'll say, but also exceed them. It stuns Cypress and I think in a lot of ways, but we're extremely proud of them. And it really speaks to their work ethic, the support that the team has had. We had some students travel out there with us, provide mechanical support. You were out there supporting the team, making sure we documented things. So all those elements really tie in and help both Cypress and I quite a bit. And it certainly helps the students and the student experience in a huge way. Extremely proud of them. We're still riding a lot of highs and buzzes off that weekend.
And Cypress, if you could add to that and perhaps give our audience just a little bit of an idea, exactly what the Tornadoes were dealing with on Purgatory Mountain outside of Durango, Colorado, whether it's conditions, other obstacles along the way.
Yeah, I don't know where to start with that one. It was quite the crazy weekend. We showed up, Brad and I got in, and it was dumping snow, and there was probably 6 inches on the ground, and the higher you went up the mountain, the more snow there was. So it was a crazy weekend as far as adverse conditions, constantly changing schedule as well that the students were dealing with. We didn't really know until kind of oftentimes late in the night really what the schedule looked like for the next morning of racing, just because they were dealing with so many weather conditions and snow on the ground turning into ice and everything freezing and just kind of creating some dangerous issues out on the courses. So from the adversity standpoint, this was kind of one of the hardest nationals to deal with, I think, for the students, and they kind of really shined through and just kind of didn't really miss a beat heading through the whole weekend. And we're always optimistic heading into those weekends, nationals trips, of how the team can perform and expect some good results, but they really kind of shined, I think, especially this year in a lot of ways, and really surprised us. So it was really fun to see.
Yeah, third place overall in the Team Omnium, 5 individual national championships, and perhaps the most impressive stat of them all, considering what Cypress just described, 0 DNFs, 0 did not finishes across all the races for the Tornadoes. Coach Perley, you got to be just thrilled with those type of results.
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of bounce off of what Cypress said a little bit, just the conditions it's extremely, extremely rare that you can get through a single individual race event discipline with no mechanicals, no major bike malfunctions, things like that, to go make it through an entire weekend where we had a couple days of snow and ice, like he mentioned, a couple days of high 50s and sun, snow melting, basically clogging everything on these bikes up, and on the riders as well. So to be able to make it through that type of event at the end of we didn't want to say it, but on Sunday night, we could say, hey, we made it with no mechanicals. Speaks a lot to the preparation, honestly, of the couple students and some parents that were helping out prepare bikes and get things ready. More than most other sports, we're extremely equipment focused. If you have a mechanical, oftentimes that means the end of your race. And sometimes they're preventable. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're rider error. Sometimes it's not, just luck. So yeah, to be able to get it through, that's a huge accomplishment. Really, we're really happy with that, and we got a little bit lucky in that regard for sure. But you had mentioned 0 DNFs. That also, I think, really reflects the mentality and the attitude of our athletes who are on course. It's can very quickly go south mentally when you're either freezing or things aren't working. You're getting ice shot at your face, all this other stuff. Isn't that fun sometimes? And it's really easy when you roll by your coaches or your supporters in the feed zone to go out on your other lap and start your next 40-minute trudge up this 10,000-foot elevation mountain to say, you know what, I think I've had enough of this. And we saw plenty of that. And that's a choice that athletes make. And our students were focused enough. I'm sure that there were times where they were saying, hey, I'm over this. I'm exhausted. I'm burning. I can't breathe. But they chose to keep going. It really speaks, like I said, it speaks volumes to the team atmosphere and that mentality of, we kept saying it was kind of the mantra the whole weekend, but control what you can control. Weather was not one of those things. Schedule was certainly not one of those things. But they were controlling their particular event and their environment, and they were focused. And yeah, it definitely showed. It's there's a whole lot of suffering going on. That's for sure.
More individual national championships than any other participating school. Tyler Orschel won 3 of them. Cross country, short track cross country, and then the individual omnium, which for those who aren't familiar, that goes to the best overall rider. And then Erica Leonard wins the women's varsity downhill, and Tyler Clark, who, by the way, won the 2019 individual omnium. So that's back-to-back men's omnium champions for the Tornadoes, won the men's varsity downhill championship. And kind of the common thread in all that, because Orschel had to do it in order to win the omnium, was success in the gravity events. And then Erica and Tyler Clark winning gravity national championships as well. Cypress, those are huge results for the Tornadoes, who are typically known for their endurance power.
Yeah, those are absolutely massive results. Those were really some pretty standout performances, and we were really a little bit surprised in some ways, honestly, to see kind of those results come through on the weekend. And it's really a big part of the commitment to improving on that downhill side that's shown. I mean, it isn't just kind of happen chance or luck. They've really put a lot of work in, and we're pretty determined to grow on that side of the discipline. So they've put a ton of work in, and it's crazy to see. We had top 3 men in that individual omnium as well, which I think is something that probably has never been done before. So it really shows the diversity of those riders on our team, and having a couple of them really striving and doing well in that omnium category is only going to improve for the rest of them, whether it's going out and riding cross country and, pushing each other in that regard, or going out and focusing on gravity riding as well. So the better the team is across the board, the better the individual athletes are as well, going from one side of the discipline to the other. So we've really enjoyed seeing that growth over the last few years.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 podium sweep in the men's individual omnium. Tyler Orschel, Tyler Clark, and Owen Clark. Brad, the other thing that's worth mentioning here, and you can't help but notice the Canadian presence, because these are U.S. Cycling championships, but our roster has all sorts of Canadians from top to bottom, and certainly on those podiums as well. It's kind of cool to have this pipeline from our friends up north down here to Brevard, North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, it's pretty amazing. Cypress mentioned our students just really working on all aspects of their riding and racing. Like I mentioned earlier, our roster is a lot smaller at these events than, about half of what these other much larger teams are going to be bringing, where they have specialists, a full roster of specialists in every event and discipline. So to see our students be able to just race everything and race it well, is definitely part of that culture, and the Canadian influence has been fantastic. I think, I guess I'm trying to think now. I guess Orschel was probably our first Canadian. We had joined the program back when he was a freshman. But some of the Canadian national programs and teams have come down to this area over the years and use it as a training camp and their spring training programs. And we've fortunately been able to develop that into some great relationships. And the students, as you know, have been fantastic, of course, on the bike, but more importantly, honestly, off the bike, their attitudes and work ethic and that, team, a student's attitude and the team attitude is really contagious, and that can either be a good thing or be a bad thing. And we're fortunate that we have a lot of fantastic students, and the upperclassmen, a lot of those Canadians, as you mentioned, certainly included, are passing down these good values and, the positive mindset to the younger students. And then it's really not even a question. It's just, this is how things work. So the Canadian influence, yeah, as you mentioned, definitely has been a fantastic thing for the program, and something we hope to continue working on as well and continue that growth, because there's a lot of great young talent up in Canada, certainly racing, and this is a great environment for them to come down to get a college degree and live somewhere that may not have snow on the ground 5 months out of the year, and get some quality training and riding and racing in. And it's just, Cypress and I continuing hopefully the best we can to be resourceful and find these good fits anywhere we can.
Coach Perley, we'll leave the final word to you as far as, kind of just overall thoughts when you reflect back on the Mountain Bike National Championships. 13 Tornadoes made the trip. You mentioned the mechanical support from Finn Cullen and Matthew Zuniga. And just want to run through these names real quick. Jack Brown, Owen Clark, Tyler Clark, Hannah Dixon, Philip Ford, Watt Hackney, Ryan Johnson, Erica Leonard, Nina Machnowski, Cameron Mader, Tyler Miranda, and Tyler Orschel, along with Rochelle Pachot, all made the trip and all made this happen. Truly a team effort. Coach Perley, final words, anything you'd like to say to your supporters?
Just that we're extremely grateful. I mean, that's certainly something we try to instill in our students in a pretty major way, is to remain humble and focused, but also be very grateful and, appreciative of the support we get from you all, from the institution, from our many sponsors and supporters in the area. I mean, we certainly couldn't make any of this work without the support we get. So it's all, every single person plays an integral role for sure. But, we're very appreciative too that our students are, when they go and compete at events like this across the country, they know they're representing much larger than just themselves. They're representing their team, their school, their area. And we had, unfortunately, this semester was rough leading up to nationals. We had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of setbacks and different layers of adversity that they had to fight through and stay focused. And I think that really, in the end, provided an extra layer of motivation for this event. So, we're extremely proud of them. Looking ahead to cross season now, and we're looking to continue that growth.
No doubt, cyclocross right around the corner. Well, stick with us just a moment longer, coaches. We're going to bring in two of the aforementioned student athletes now, as we bring into the program Tyler Clark and also Nina Machnowski. Tyler and Nina, before we bring you all into the program, Cypress, can you tell NATO Nation a little more about these two student athletes?
Yeah, so we've got Tyler as a kind of a outgoing senior. He's been a crucial piece to a lot of our nationals teams for the last handful of years. So we'll be sad to see him go. We've got a lot of strong talent, just like his brother coming up, as well as Nina. So she this is her first year of racing, actually, for the team, since last year we weren't able to do anything, but she's been a really strong force on the XC side for the women. So it's been really good to see her kind of progress through the season and have some of our best finishes, or I guess both of our best finishes, for the endurance events at nationals. So can't wait to see where Tyler goes after graduating and continue to watch Nina progress through her handful of years here.
Brad, anything to add to that, please?
Sure, unmute myself. I really just echo exactly what Cypress said as well. I mean, Tyler's been a huge influence in the team. Again, the attitude, the environment, but also, of course, on the bike. Many people know his names from results and all that you see in articles. So, but he's been a great influence in the team. We're going to be sad to see him go. Hopefully, he sticks around in the area a little bit. We can pull him into team events and all that some in the future. And then, just like Cypress said as well about Nina, we're really looking forward to seeing her grow during her Brevard career here. It seems like we're starting fresh with the majority of our students this year in terms of competition, because last year we didn't do any. So it all feels really new. And I think we were able to use that. And we're going to continue to use that approach as we jump into some more racing here is a way to start clean and really focus on looking ahead to the future. So Nina will be a huge part of that too. So we're excited.
Very good. Cycling coaches Brad Perley and Cypress Gorry. Congratulations again, gentlemen, on a fantastic performance at the Mountain Bike National Championships. We'll be following you as cyclocross season gets going shortly here.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, too.
All right. There they go. And so joined now by Nina Machnowski, the sophomore from Verona, New Jersey, and Tyler Clark, the senior now from King City, Ontario. Nina, Tyler, thanks for joining the program.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, Nina, let's start with you because this would be your first collegiate national championship experience up in Durango, Colorado, and would love to hear from you just individually, but also, as far as that team dynamic went and, now that you've had a chance to catch your breath and reflect back, overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know what I was missing out on last year because this was my first year racing. And I was just really excited for the opportunity to, this being my first year racing, going out to nationals with the team and showing them what I got. There were a lot of challenges, between the altitude and the cold. But I feel like everybody just had that mindset of just going for it and trying to finish and giving it all we got. And, in the end, it was a lot of fun and it really paid off. So I had a great time.
And Tyler, you had to be pleased, not only with your own results, winning that downhill, but also just, when there's a podium sweep of all Brevard College Tornadoes on the men's individual omnium, and then just all sorts of,
Oh. Where'd Phil go?
All right. The wonders of the internet in this age of Zoom and whatnot. Hopefully you caught most of that, Tyler. Just reflecting back, this would be your final mountain bike national championship as a, collegiate racer. Can you put this one in perspective?
Yeah. It's sad for it to be the last one. It's definitely one of my favorite events every year. I guess as we were going through the races, I kept thinking to myself, like, I'm exhausted. Like, I want this to be over quickly. But at the same time, like, this is the most fun event all year. We have the best crew here. We have finally have a full crew. I feel like we've never really had that before. And it was a blast. So I just kind of wanted it to last forever. So for it to be the last one, it's sad, but it was definitely a really good one to go out on.
And Nina, now that you've tasted this, collegiate racing at the national championship level, I'm sure you're hungry for more.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely not what I expected. The atmosphere is just so inviting. Everyone is so friendly and supportive of each other, especially our team. And you could see it, especially at the podiums. Everybody was right up in front of the podium and cheering each other on, and we were picking each other up and giving each other high fives. It was just a really great feeling. So I'm excited for cross season, and I'm excited for next mountain bike season. And now I know what to expect, and I know that it's just a fun time.
Want to paint this picture even more for our audience, Tyler, because unless you were there, you probably just don't realize just how insane those conditions were on that mountain. Can you kind of describe what you had to deal with as a racer?
Yeah, I guess. Well, so I'm from Canada. Most of the time we spend the winter, snow is covered snow covers the ground, and it was the same way when we got there. I remember there's 3 of us out pre-riding the course, and for the most part, we were just riding on a trail that had been packed in, covered in snow still riding on snow. We were going down the descent covered in ice. So you're sliding around, not really sure what to expect and what was coming up. So yeah, it was definitely a unique event. Like, I've never raced. I've done days here and there in the snow, but never 4 days in a row of either riding on ice in the snow or in mud that was deeper than your ankles. So it was definitely a crazy event, and they did a really good job to even have the race go off. Like, when we got there, it was a question whether or not some of the races would even be possible. The downhill race was a bit sketchy because, like, that one went the highest up the mountain. So a lot of it, the home team was out shoveling, trying to get it even rideable and safe for us to put on the event. So it was crazy.
Yeah, and Nina, just amazing how the team just persevered through all that and was willing to pivot or adjust no matter what the event threw at them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal for all of us was, of course, to perform well and get good results, but to finish, like, regardless of the conditions. And some of us had mechanicals, because every one of us that finished contributed to that team overall. And that was our ultimate goal at nationals. And we definitely achieved that.
No doubt. The stat of the weekend, if you ask me, 0 DNFs for the Tornadoes across the board. And, very difficult to do, especially on an event in those conditions. Well, do want NATO Nation to learn about even more about each of you. And Tyler, you're the senior of the group here, and, you're going to be heading off before too long. Tell us a little bit about, away from college cycling, what keeps you busy? What are your ambitions, dreams following graduation?
Yeah, so I guess I spend most of the year still racing, maybe not in collegiate racing, but I spent a good chunk of the year over in Europe doing some World Cups and stuff like that over there. Last year was a little weird, no racing, so I spent a lot of time just at home. I live on a farm back there, so lots to do there all the time, a lot of farm work going on, a lot of maintenance. And then after graduation, I know my girlfriend and I, Erica Leonard, are going to try and move out to BC and explore that side of Canada. Been spent time over there here and there, but it's got a lot of places over there to explore, similar to here. You're in the mountains, amazing riding, and also a ton of really nice skiing. So that's the plan for after school. Definitely come back and visit, like Brad was saying. Would love to see the team at nationals next year. Hopefully they're in a bit nicer of a place, somewhere down closer to sea level, where we stand a fighting chance, I guess.
And Tyler, worth noting, you have a younger brother on the team now, Owen Clark, who joined you on that individual Omnium podium and had all sorts of success this year too. It's got to be great to have your little brother here at the same college.
Yeah, it took some pushing all summer, but subtly and finally got him here. He's a hockey player and has been for the last a long time, as long as I can remember. So the fact that he gave that up to come here and race for the team was pretty amazing. So that was definitely some extra motivation, I'd say, both during the conference season here and at nationals. I think at nationals, the furthest he was ever behind me was 6 spots. So he was always right there, and it was definitely tough to keep ahead of him the whole time. So that was just a little bit of extra motivation that helped all week.
And Nina, out of Verona, New Jersey, I must say I haven't met too many student athletes here at Brevard College out of the state of New Jersey, and it's great to have you part of the team, of course. Can you tell us a little bit about your cycling background and ultimately what led you here to Brevard College?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was always a mountain gal at heart, even though I grew up in the suburbs of New York. We have some local trails in Verona that are rocky and they're small, tight trails, but that's where I rode. And my parents, since I was from a very young age, they would always get me out on the trails, hiking, biking. We have a local rail trail right behind the high school, so that's where I first got off my training wheels. My dad started racing. I don't know what really inspired him to do that, but he started racing in this local cross country series. And they also had some kids races there, which were shorter, just 4-mile lap. And I started doing those, and I was like, you know what, Dad, I want to do the big races. Make me a training plan. He was like, really? You should keep it fun. You don't want to burn out. And I was like, no, I just want to train and get better and get faster and keep improving. And from there, I fell in love with the marathon distance, which is 100 kilometers or 100 miles. And, my interest sparked in all other disciplines of cycling as well, including gravel and cross and some road, even enduro. So yeah, just love it all. And I think what brought me to Brevard was, I was hesitant to even go to college because I was kind of nervous about moving away from home, being in a new area without my family nearby. But I remember very vividly giving Brad a call up on the phone and asking him, what is the team like? What does it entail? What's the training look like? And he just was so inviting and, thought that I would be a really great fit. And I visited here, stayed with the team for a long weekend, and I felt like I finally found home. So haven't gone back to New Jersey since. I'll be going back for Thanksgiving for the first time, but
Very good. Well, you certainly are in the right place to explore all those disciplines you described,
Yeah.
including gravel racing. And do want to give a shout out to Nina because a published journalist, Pearl Izumi Journal, you wrote a fantastic story when
Thank
Brevard
you.
College launched its gravel racing program, and all sorts of shares and likes and reposts and all those things. Nina, tell us about your interest in this media world.
Now, I gained like a love for Instagram and just sharing my love for cycling there. And with that came sponsors and companies that were interested in, using me as a way to promote their products and stuff. And I've also met a lot of great people from these companies. The cycling industry is full of just awesome, supportive people. And I've also had a love for writing. So I've played around with, a personal blog for a few years. But when Pearl Izumi gave me the opportunity to write an article of anything I wanted to, I was like, it has to be about Brevard College. And I chose gravel because it's just a new discipline. And I feel like there's a lot to talk about there, and just encourage people to try it out as well.
Very good. Tyler, we talked to the coaches a bunch, just the team effort that it took in this one. And that included mechanical support from, your teammates such as Finn Cullen and Matthew Zuniga, also Wes Dixon making the trip. Thad Walker, Brevard College Tornado Hall of Famer, was there helping out as well. The support, whether it's, mechanical support, guys who know their way around town, such as Simon Donaway, who, by the way, want to give a shout out to Simon, who was able to join you guys as well. It goes on and on as far as that sort of support and the sponsors and so forth. It's really a team effort, correct, Tyler?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think people understand quite how delicate bikes can be, especially when they're in the mud. Without those guys there cleaning the bikes every day, like we probably would have gone and got our bikes for the next race and nothing would have worked. The wheels wouldn't have spun. The chains would have been stuck. Like essentially without them, our bikes would not have made it through one day of racing, never mind 4. So just having those guys there to take that workload off, let us relax after each race, that was amazing. That helped so much. Having those guys there, Simon, who was unfortunately out with an injury, should have been on that team, but just having him there on the side when we were finishing our runs for downhill or for dual slalom was pretty amazing to see. Gunnar, another rider on the team who's from out in Durango, he flew out for that too. So having all those guys there for support was very key, and it made it feel kind of more like we were closer to Brevard when we were racing. Having guys that weren't just on the team for nationals, but also people outside who kind of brought that whole home field to Durango for us, which was pretty amazing.
Very cool. Nina, before we let you go, and you guys are preparing for cyclocross as a team, that's coming up next, and we'll be covering that one as well. But do want to give you the opportunity, any shout outs, thank yous, anybody you'd like to just give a nod to. The floor is yours, Nina.
I mean, I think that our coaches are the obvious one. I mean, they break their backs for us. They drove out to Colorado and, hauled that trailer, and they would do night runs to the supermarket to get food for us. Like, they were constantly working just to support us. I think I'll give another shout out to my parents. I was involved in a pretty bad accident earlier this season, and even though they're all the way back in New Jersey, like just talking to them every day and sharing things just really kept me kept me positive and kept me going. And yeah, I also have to shout out my coach, Dylan Johnson. He's based right here in Brevard, and he always, gives me great coaching recommendations and just knows me better than anyone. So
Well done. Tyler, same opportunity for you. Thank yous or shout outs?
Yeah. Like Nino said, our coaches, Brad and Cypress, like getting all those fine details to get us out there, bringing all our bikes out in the trailer so we didn't have to pack them up and ship the day before. That just helped so much. My parents, they were the ones who kind of pushed me to come to Brevard a few years ago. I thought about taking a gap year and maybe focusing on some outside racing, but was kind of pushed to look at Brevard and other schools around here, and that was kind of the push I needed to get here. And it's really worked out a lot since. And then Phil, you for coming all the way out to Durango to kind of see what we were doing out there and what the event was all about, and making these Facebook lives that allow us to kind of share what the cycling team is about and what we do every week. So thank you very much.
Our pleasure, no doubt. Tyler Clark, senior from King City, Ontario, individual national champion in men's varsity downhill. One more congratulations for that one,
Thank you.
Tyler, and also on that individual Omnium podium. And Nina Machnowski, she raced in the endurance events at the Mountain Bike National Championships, and plenty more to come this season and beyond for Nina. Tyler and Nina, thanks for joining the program.
Yep, thanks for having us.
All right, there they go. Great to recap some mountain bike national championships with those two. And we're going to shift gears again here, and we're going to bring in guests from the Brevard College cross country program coming hot off the USA South Conference cross country championships, and joined now by head coach Darryll Patrick and also Devon Brodmyer. Coach Patrick, thanks for joining the program.
Hey, Phil. Thanks for having me.
And Devon Brodmyer, glad to have you here on Tornado Talk, Devon.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Coach Patrick, we'll start with you. Coming off the cross-country conference championships, on the men's side, the Tornadoes finished 5th out of 14 teams, very tight between 3, 4, and 5, Covenant, Piedmont, and Brevard. And the Tornadoes women finish, 10th out of 17 teams. So, strong performances by the Tornadoes. Can you tell us, what the event, how it transpired for the Tornadoes, and pleased with the results?
So, going in Rocky Mount, it's, pretty flat. There's not much hill to it. So it should be, we were expecting some good times and great conditions. Like weather was perfect running. 50 degrees weather. We knew going in, on the women's side that, we're building this program up, and we knew it was going to, take a good effort, really have top 5 showing. We went out there. I told the ladies, because this was their first 6K. We throughout the season, we were running 5Ks. So, and other than Zoe there, no one has that experience running a 6K. So, I just told them, go out there, be aggressive, have fun, compete. And they definitely went out aggressive. First 2 miles, I was pretty excited where we were at. And we come out in 10th, but we were excited because 2 years ago we didn't have pretty much a program. So to start it from here, you can only get better from here. So very proud for the ladies and how they ran start to finish, dealing with some injuries on the team, and they were able to push through. And be able to score in top 10. So, and then on the men's side, very competitive field. Honestly, 1 through 6 in our conference. You can kind of switch them however you want them on any given day. And so we knew going in, like, we had to really bring our A. Shout out to Southern Virginia and Berea, both of them running really well that day. And so it was definitely 3 to 6, it was anybody. We had some good individual showings on the men's side. Some ran well, and others dealing with the injuries and stuff, pushed through. We're thankful to the 5th top 5 team. That's kind of where I thought we would be at the start of the year. Very pleased with that. I definitely think it left a good taste in their mouth where they want more. And so hopefully after this season, they'll really see like what it really takes to get there. And so very all ran, and can't wait to get going.
Very good. Also joined now by Zoe Capps, the sophomore from Hendersonville, North Carolina. Zoe, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Zoe, let's start with you on the women's side of things. Coach Patrick talked about it. 6K, not your typical collegiate race, but you end up finishing 40th out of 113 total runners on the women's side, a time of 26:53. How did the race go for you?
It felt good. I enjoyed the course. It was a pretty good course, and it was a beautiful day for a race.
Very good. Yeah, outstanding. Devon Brodmyer, the sophomore from Marietta, Georgia. Devon finished 34th, a huge field on the men's side as well, time of 28:32. Devon, can you reflect back on that race, how it went for you?
It went okay. I've been fighting off an injury, so coming back from that still feels good being out there and being able to race. I was happy to see what my teammates could do, though, and seeing them step up.
Yeah, and you mentioned team, Devon, and I know you guys spend countless hours with each other training and so forth, and it's got to be rewarding to go to a championship event and kind of put it all together. Can you talk about the team environment of the cross country team?
We're definitely a family because we spend hours with each other each week. We all live with each other, so we're all spending time with each other. So it's very close, and we all want everyone to do good. We all are here for each other.
Yeah, same question for you, Zoe. Whether it's training on these trails or on these roads around Brevard College, or even the meets and the championship environment that you just experienced, the team truly is where it's at. Correct?
It really is, yeah. And we get to bond so much on the trails and just going through everything, going through the workouts together, and it's just a nice bonding atmosphere. And
yeah, no doubt. Now, Coach Patrick, it's worth mentioning Devon, along with Halia Lane, both won all sportsmanship team honors, and that's significant, to be named to that team, certainly, being a sportsman and, being able to, be an athlete of high character, yet still compete hard. It's so important. Correct, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Devon, he epitomizes what sportsmanship is. From day one, he's always been positive, role model or just good teammate. He's always willing to help others, but he definitely puts in the work too, and he backs it up. And I definitely knew, coming into this season, he put in almost every single mile that he could possibly do over the summer because he wanted to do well for himself and for the team. And he epitomizes what I'm wanting to do in this program is be there for each other regardless of circumstance. Good day, bad day, good race, bad race. He's always there, being a positive influence to the team. And Haley Lane, she's a freshman from Chapin, South Carolina. She again, positive attitude each and every day. Just again, what I'm really looking forward to in this program, and Zoe, same way. I think she got it last year, and she's the same way. Like every day, positive, smile on her face, try to make your day feel better with little jokes here and there, and just go out there and enjoy running. So that's what my goal is each and every year.
Yeah, want to make sure we mention also some more all-conference nods. Dalton Hawley, second team all-conference. He finished 11th in the championship race. Garrett Spengler, 18th for a third team all-conference selection. And George Wells, 21st. That equals a third team all-conference nod as well. Coach, when you see multiple runners on those all-conference teams and winning these all-sportsmanship team awards, it's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The goal is to try to get as many as you can, right? And so we're just scratching the surface. I'm hoping next year all those guys that are second and third team will be first team. But yeah, it just shows the dedication and the work they put in from the summertime or even from the start of day one of practice, up and down these mountains and the miles that they, always put in each and every week. So it's just good for them to be rewarded with that, and yeah, hopefully strive for more.
Devon, out of Marietta, Georgia, but Coach just mentioned up and down these mountains. Do you enjoy training in this higher altitude and, with this variety of surfaces you can find?
Oh, I love it. Not always the most fun because you'll be feeling it the next day most of the time, but I love it. And it's why I credit most of my training, good trainings, because of the area we're in.
Yeah, no doubt. A runner's paradise in a lot of ways. And Zoe, you're from Hendersonville, North Carolina, so I'm sure you're familiar with this terrain, but I'm sure you've discovered a lot of new trails and, new possibilities, since you've started here at Brevard College.
Yes, sir, I have. Definitely a lot more mountainous trails than I had done previously. So that always helps with training.
Yeah, and does that really help you, Zoe, as far as like kind of pushing yourself and your teammates to, increase your time when it comes to, the opportunity to race in the collegiate events?
It really does, because we'll do these mountains in practice and stuff, and oftentimes, like in the race, the mountains aren't that bad compared to what we do in practice, so it feels a lot easier, and it feels like we were able to really push ourselves because of all our training.
Very good. Well, Zoe, before we let you go, tell our audience a little bit about what you're doing away from running. Have you focused in on a major in your studies here at Brevard College?
My major is biology, and I'm hoping to be a veterinarian or do something medical someday. And yeah, I really like animals. I love animals. I have a lot of animals, so.
Very good. And Zoe, before we let you go, any thank yous or shout outs to anybody who may have helped you along the way or someone you just want to say hi to?
Yeah, I would like to thank Coach Darryll Patrick for always being there and for coaching me on the ups and down days. And I would like to thank my family because they've always been there to support me over the years, and they've always just been there for me. So.
Very good. Devon, tell us a little bit about your academics. Have you zeroed in on a major, and what are you working on?
I'm going to be a business major, and I'm also trying to double major in psychology. So that's my plan for academics right now.
Very good.
And what's the other question? Kind of cut out.
Oh, same opportunity for you. Shout outs or thank yous?
I'd like to shout out to Coach, of course. I got to thank everything for how far I came. My parents, them coming to the meets, helping me find a college, and just my teammates.
Very good. Well said. Coach Patrick, we'll leave the final word to you. Regional championships coming up shortly, where these student athletes will have a chance to, race even further. And, certainly a big weekend we're coming off of here, USA South Conference, a ever improving and deeper USA South Conference than ever, as far as the competition in this sport. Coach, final thoughts.
Yeah, so, right after conference, we get 2 weeks to prepare for regionals. This is our first year competing in the Division III regionals. So how that works in order to go to the nationals is how you perform at regionals. So for our region, the South/Southeast, there's technically like 54 schools that can go. Usually about mid to low 40s compete, but it's still a huge meet. All D3, very good team. Just to give you perspective, Southern Virginia, who won our conference, they're ranked 8th right now in our region, and who knows, they can definitely 5. It just tells you how much depth there is in our region. So, both our men and women are going to really see what it takes to compete at this level. So, we're just expecting to go out there, give it our best. And I'd love to see us crack the top 10, maybe top 15 on the men and our women. Let's see what happens, right? And then from there, they enjoy this experience, and so next year they know, all right, right after conference, we're focused on regionals, and just keep setting those goals higher and higher. So, can't wait to go out there. It's actually just down in Spartanburg, so not too far. We got lucky this year, so hopefully some of you all can come down and cheer us on.
Very good. That's head coach Darryll Patrick of the cross country and track and field program here at Brevard College. Also, Devon Brodmyer and Zoe Capps. Coach Patrick, Devon, Zoe, thanks for joining the show. Congratulations on a successful USA South Conference cross country championships.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, want to thank you, the audience, for tuning in for another edition of Tornado Talk. Want to thank our guests from the sports of volleyball, cross country, and cycling. Best of luck to volleyball this week as they interplay in the USA South Conference tournament. And thanks to our sponsors, Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, eGolf, Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Thanks also to our producers, Joseph Marvin and Ethan Thompson. And be sure to continue to follow the Tornadoes on social media, and we'll see you for another edition of Tornado Talk 1 week from tonight, Monday at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining the show.